Welcome to the Business Buyer Diaries. My name is Nathan Platter. I'm a full-time employee, and I bought a business. I did everything right, from finding the deal, handling all the due diligence on 63 opportunities, and ultimately bought a profitable gym. And boy, was I in for a big surprise as a new owner. I chronicled everything in real time, including the biggest wins to the stressful nights at 2 a.m. I'm sharing my journey without sugarcoating anything, so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Here's today's episode. Happy Saturday! So today is the test out day. Tonight is the 10-week party. And it was crazy. Got in the car, driving to the gym. Whoa, excuse me. And I get a text from a fellow franchisee. He's like, hey Nathan, how's things going over at your studio? And things have been pretty rocky since we last talked. It's been tough. Feel like catching up at all? And this is a franchisee I've talked to before. So yeah, man, totally. So I get it while I'm driving. I instantly start typing out a response. I know I shouldn't, but I'm starting to type a response. Anyways, I'm going to call this guy. So I call the guy. I'm like, hey, man, what's going on? Yeah, we have straight up, here's how we've been doing. We've lost money every single month since the purchase. I don't know what corporate says about us, but if they're saying anything positive, it's not true because this has been a struggle since day one. And that's the straight up truth. So how can I help? What have you been seeing at your club? And so he was like, oh man, I'm glad you said that because ever since this time period, they've been going through so much. And we had a good heart to heart, 30, 40 minutes. And I'm starting to realize it's that everyone isn't going through the same struggle and everyone puts on the same mask. It's crazy. And so I would say hey, here's how I'm handling stress. Here's what we're currently doing. Here's what I've tried. Here's how it went. Here's how other thing I tried didn't work. He's like, I know we tried this. I was told we'll get this result. I did not get that result. And now I'm at this spot. I'm like, bro, I'm so sorry. And so we're kind of commiserating together, but thinking out loud, strategizing, realizing we're in trouble. I'm not saying anything about the brand or corporate, but us two individual owners, we're in trouble. So I told him, hey, I'm not going to say too much so you can consciously say you did not know what was going on, but I don't know how my club can stay open for another year, given the current circumstances. Man, I'm right there with you. And so I said, all right, well, here's who I've been talking to. Here's the counsel I've been getting advice from. It's oh man, could you connect me to that counsel as well? Dude, absolutely. Based on what you're telling me, based on what I'm telling you, we both need good counsel and alluding to certain things. And so the group fitness space is getting pinched. The big dogs the Lifetime, the Equinox, the YMCAs are able to offer big box offerings. The little studios like Planet Fitness are able to offer certain things. It's the middle space that's getting pinched. And it's the boutique small business owner space because for better or worse, the margins are just too thin. And neither of us are owner operators. We're absentee owners. And we can't afford to pay someone $60,000 a year for a business to lose $10,000 a month. And this guy is losing more than me. I'm losing a lot. He's losing more than me. And I thought they were doing a lot better. And so I said, all right, well, it's looking like I'm going to have to go bankruptcy. He's like, hey, I'm entertaining the thought. I couldn't sleep last night. Who's your go-to for that? I said, well, I'll connect you guys up this afternoon. All this to say, do not internalize stress or think you're a lone wolf, especially if you're needing help. Reach out for help pretty quickly. And so it sounds bad, but I can now refer him over to counsel to give him a strategic options so that he doesn't fall victim to being a victim, but he can choose how to end things well for his business. And I may do it the right way, I may not, but at least he'll be one step smarter than me. And so we were talking what's this exemption? What's this amount? And whatever. And so what should we tell the corporate, our landlord, the sellers that we've made promises to, all these other curveballs? And I told him, hey, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an attorney. Based on the counsel I've received, here are the decisions I am making. And hey, that's just like my scenario. That's just like my scenario. This seems like my scenario. And I said, hey, definitely seek counsel first, but here's the decisions that I'm concluding at the end. He's like, okay, sounds good. That's your decision. Makes sense. And let's rock and roll. So that's the summary of the conversation. We'll see how this all rolls out. And so I told him hey, here's kind of the timeline I'm thinking. If you're thinking the same timeline, let's have like a big bash and let's go down in a blaze of glory together. We'll combine forces. The last check will bounce paying for a big party for the members, and we'll go from there. Say, hey, I don't know, but that sounds like fun. I think we can do that. So he and I, we're going to catch up, grab coffee or steaks or whatever guys do these days. And tonight we're going to have a good party. Went through the challenge. The challenge, we call it a 10-week challenge. So we're going to do a test out today. It was kind of funny too. It's the last day of my full-time GM, and my interim GM is stepping in. And it was funny just to read the energy levels. My outgoing GM is like carefree. He's like having a blast, and he was actually really good at his role. And then the incoming interim GM, I could tell, is a little bit more uptight, a little bit more unsure, a little bit rocky, not quite asking for help, though he could have needed help in some areas. Just see how it plays out. It's just been interesting. And so reading between the lines, I think my outgoing GM, we talked a little bit. He said, hey man, like, I'm grateful for the opportunity. Wouldn't change a thing, but now I get to go home and have peace. I couldn't turn off the gym. I couldn't stop people from texting me, Facebook messaging me, Instagram DMing me, spreading rumors about me, like asking me about their membership contracts that they're texting me. And like I'm trying to hang out with my family on a Sunday. I'm like, yeah, it's wild. And he's like, I get peace again. That's not going to be happening anymore. Like I can leave work at work. And I'm like, yeah, that's right there with you, man. And so he was more upbeat and like optimistic about it. And then the interim GM, he's like, all right, what do you need from me? What do I need to be doing? And I could tell over the weekend or over the past few days, people have been asking like, hey, there's been some rumors that the GM that got fired months ago, that she's coming back and a staff member is leaving because of it. And this interim GM is like, no, not true. I'll step in. I'll make a post about it. So now like he's getting dragged into the drama because he's having to squash that stuff just alongside me. And so I think the interim GM is realizing, oh crap, what did I sign up for? So it's just interesting to see. This will be the second time someone coming in and is overly confident. Like, hey, I've got this. I know what I'm doing. I can run this ship. I can crack the whip and see the cracks, and to realize like, oh man, I'm in over my head. That may be the case. I don't know. We'll see how it all plays out. But just interesting. Just funny, I guess. Funny in the sense that it's a repeat human condition sort of thing. So heading home, gonna hang out at home for a good 5.5 hours. We're gonna rest with the fam. We got a final bit of prep work for the party tonight. Bringing the company card. We're gonna have a blast. We're going to, I can't remember what it's called. We're going to a tavern where they have like a party room. We're gonna do that. Wish off the GM well. He's done a good tenure. A lot of people have thrown shit at him. Shame on them. But he's going to go out in a bang of glory. So we'll have fun. It'll be good. And we're going to enjoy ourselves. So that's where we're at. That's where we're going. Let's rock and roll. This has been another episode of the Business Buyer Diaries. Subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. I hope you're realizing that business ownership is no cakewalk. Check the podcast notes for a link to the DIY due diligence program, the complete list of show sponsors, and for media inquiries. Music written and composed by Wes Schrock. I'm your host, Nathan Platter. Join me again on the next one.